Mac O'Hare, you sexy motherfucker.
Wow, that's a lot of energy up top, Cam. I woke up 30 minutes ago. I don't know. I got up at 12:30 and I'm being yelled at. That's awesome. That's so cool how that happens right away.
I have to call all the lads sexy boys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you, man? You good?
I'm good. I'm tired, and but that's a good thing. I've been working a lot and doing a lot of traveling for stand up and stuff. So it's just like running around, figuring out what I want from this whole thing, and doing the thing.
What do you want, Mac? What do you want, mate?
I think right now my goals are just to be able to do this full time. Right now I'm doing it like probably 80-20 in terms of what I'm doing with my life, like 20% side job, day job, and then 80% comedy. So we're getting there, but it's just kind of like that one last little piece, you want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your whole journey, but before we start, guys, this is Mac O'Hare.
Oh,
He's
wow.
a fucking legend.
Oh, wow.
He's a bit of a veteran comic in the community as far as people that I know, and he is just absolutely brilliant. I met him at Broadway Comedy Club, so we'll give you his socials at the end. And guys, if you're going to watch this episode, please subscribe. It's going to help me grow the channel. Thank you, guys. Now, Mac, you are honestly one of the funniest dudes I know.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I love your stand-up. I love your how relaxed you are on stage, your presence, your jokes. Like, dude, you have been like one of the guys that has really impressed me, and I've been really excited to have you on.
Thank you, dude.
So, like, how did you find your voice? That's one thing I want to know, because what has also been so impressive about you is just you can you can just be up there. Like sometimes you can just be and just interact with the crowd. You do jokes. Like it really does seem like you've found your voice. Yeah, you've sort of found who you are, and you've been able to reflect that on stage. And also, the guy that you are in real life is who you are on stage, which is really
Sure.
cool.
Very much for the most part. I mean, I think that the more you get to know me, and we'll continue to get to know each other, you'll find that there's probably slight differences. But in terms of finding my voice, like, this, it's all reps. It's all getting on stage just as much as possible and letting your talent kind of evolve and not trying to push it. But it's like, I did 400 shows last year. I'm up to 200 this year. And it's just about getting on stage as much as possible. And kind of trusting that the work will be done. And that's why the internship, I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but it's like being able to get up 5 times a night for 4 years is crazy. I mean, that's like, I was talking to Rich about it the other day. Like that is the best thing that could have happened to my career. So just like getting up as much as possible is really how you find that comfortability, like you said, on stage. Because it's like, okay, when you first start out, I don't know, you're probably past this, but you're doing like 1 show a month. And that show is the biggest thing that's going to happen to you that month. When you're doing 30, you don't care at all. I mean, it's like just another thing. It's just clocking in and clocking out. And then that's going to let you be more comfortable on stage. So that's what I would say.
So what was your roadmap? So, like, guys who don't know, Mac has an internship, or had it. Well, you still do have an internship at
until
Broadway
September,
Comedy Club,
yes.
but soon to leave. But you've had a great run there. But what was your roadmap from the start? Like, did you just smack mics every single day? Like, and then, what was your process to developing yourself?
Right. So I think that I had a really interesting roadmap because I had a pandemic in the middle of it. So I started pre-pandemic for about a year, kind of off and on, not intentionally, but just because I had like stuff going on. I was in college and, so I did stand-up for about a year. Then the pandemic hit and we all jumped on Zoom mics, which sucked, but it also let someone who wasn't used to running around the city doing mics do 2 or 3 mics a day because I could just like log on and tell jokes and log off. And that kind of transitioned into park mics and rooftop mics for another 6 months, where you would go to the middle of Central Park. I've spent more time in Sheep's Meadow than I ever thought I would, because it was just like we would all do mics there. We would bring a speaker and we would bring a microphone and we would tell jokes and probably annoy everyone there. And then you kind of started to get inside the clubs. And once that happened, I auditioned for Broadway and moved forward with getting the internship about 6 months later, just out of pure luck. But it was, I mean, for the first 3 years, 4 years, probably 3 years, just 14 mics a week, you know, just like running around, doing the thing. And that's the best way to do it. It's just when you're not being given the opportunities in terms of shows, you still need to make up those reps. So it's just like get on stage as much as possible.
And what were you like in those early years?
I was a kid, man. Like, I started at 18.
Wow.
So it's like I was still in college. I was like figuring it out. Some of these people, Rich has known me since high school. And, you know, he knew me before my first girlfriend and after my first girlfriend. And so I was like super young and kind of growing as a person in addition to growing as a comic, which I think that part of the cool thing is like, you're like, oh, you found your voice. It's like, well, I found my voice as a person too. Part of this comedy journey has just been like figuring out who I am and what I value and then letting that reflect on stage. So, I mean, 4 years ago, I was a freshman in college, you know, very different.
Now, tell me, what were the Zoom mics like? Because I just can't even imagine. I feel like it would just be so awful. I don't know. How do you get the feedback?
You don't. So, it's like, I mean, they were all different. Some of them were literally like there wouldn't even be an audience. Some of them there would be an audience that like was watching, like the Zoom mic was being shown on a website, and then they would log into the website, but you still couldn't see them. Or like it would be like a group chat reply. You know, there was so many variations of it that you can do technically that I don't even really understand, because I'm so bad at technology, like how it works. But it was an interesting experience. It was awful, but I also think that I had the value of ignorance in the sense that I'd only been doing it a year. If I mean, I don't know how many, how these seller comics did it with doing online stuff. Because it's like, once you start doing real shows, there's no way you're ever going to do a Zoom mic. So it was terrible, but I didn't know any better. So it's just like, okay, that's the thing is the longer I do this, the more I realize that if I had known how hard it was, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Really?
It sucks, man. It's like the fucking like just standing for 3 years in a room full of 3 people doing mics and telling the same jokes over and over again to probably moderate laughter to minimal laughter.
Yeah.
It's torture. But then like the awesome thing is then something clicks and then all of a sudden you're in front of 300 people and they're all laughing and you're doing a 20-minute set and you're on stage with Bill Burr and Ari Shaffir and all of these great people. And I'm so lucky that I didn't know how hard it was going to be, because now I'm on kind of the other side of it and I'm having a blast. So,
at what point of your career, because you said just before you're in year 6 now, sort of. So what part of it was it that it actually started to really come together? And what was that feeling like? Like, what was there a one moment, or was it sort of like hindsight? You're like, oh, actually, I've evolved so much since this point now. I don't even recognize who that year 2 comment was.
I think there wasn't one moment, but there were singular moments of validation. So it's like I was growing at a steady pace no matter what, but then I'd get passed at a club and I'd be like, all right, that's kind of cool, because he like saw that I'm good enough to do X. Or like my first club that I was past, it was Stand Up New York. And then, you know, Rich would text me and say, like, great job. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, so there were singular moments of validation, but there was also just kind of a steady growth, which I'm sure you've even noticed in yourself, and I've noticed with you, where it's like the more you get comfortable on stage, the more reps you get, the more you write, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I haven't done that bit in like a year because it sucks.
Yeah.
You know, like, why would I do that to myself or the audience?
Yeah.
So I think there was steady growth. Do you feel like there's steady growth with you?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's very steady, but it's a slow incline, which is nice. But like I'm having some really good sets. I still have plenty of bad ones.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, well, we all do. That's never going to go away.
Yeah. But like I had a good moment. Like the other night when I was on with you, and there was a few comics prior to me
Crushed it, dude.
that like sucked pretty bad, and then,
it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
No, it was a rough audience. It wasn't like a good crowd.
But then you said to me, "Oh man, thank you." You gave me a fist bump. You're like, you kind of brought the energy back in the room, and I was like, "Fuck," you know, just those little moments.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's nice to be told by someone at your caliber. I'm like, all right, I'm doing the right thing,
Right?
You know, because that wouldn't have happened a year ago.
No, probably not. But it's like, well, also, I don't even think I knew you a year ago.
No.
But yeah, it is. I think that's the way to go. Or there are these like moments of validation with anything, probably, and then you kind of move forward. And also, I don't know if you feel this way, and this is kind of a tangent here, but I feel like whenever I get something, like you were talking about those like moments that you get, whether it's being passed at a club or whatever, I always feel like I've been ready for that for like a year. So like like when I started headlining at Broadway, it didn't feel like that big a deal because I was like, yeah.
I get you.
Like I've already done a half hour.
Yeah.
So why would I, like, sure, I can do 12 minutes at the end of a show. Like,
Yeah.
that's not, so even the moments of validation are kind of like cool because 4 years ago you would have been thrilled. But there's also a part of it where it's just kind of like, cool.
That's where like all your preparation and time and practice has just come into play.
Right.
I had a comic, Peter Stewart, on. I don't know if you know Peter Stewart.
Yeah.
And he said to me, like, it's better to be 5 minutes late than 5 minutes early when it comes to comedy.
Absolutely. Although, if you're 5 minutes early, sometimes people think you're on time.
Yeah.
You know what I, like when I got past in Stand Up New York, I probably wasn't ready. You know, like I wasn't very good. I watched my audition tape and I was like, poof, you know? But I think that part of it, even the internship, I don't think I was ready to do a Friday. But they thought I was.
Yeah.
So then it made me better. You know?
100%. Well, I was surprised I got the internship. I really was. I think
How did you get it?
I asked Rich about the internship because I'd heard about it, and then it was after I did the industry room the first time, and then I did the industry room the second time. He gave me my spots, and then he said, "Hey, do you still want that internship?"
Oh wow, great!
So it was yeah. I was very lucky. I must have just like asked him at the right time because they were looking for someone.
Literally the way it works.
Yeah, it's just a lot of luck.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all like preparation to the point where luck kind of unlocks it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's no way you're ever... The reason I started headlining at Broadway was because Jared Waters was late, and I just ended up doing like 20 minutes and closing the show out, and Rich just so happened to be watching on the cameras. Like, do you see the amount of things that randomly happened there? And then it's just like, he texted me, and he's like, great job.
Wow.
And then he started throwing me spots like a crazy person, and then I guess I did okay on those. Which,
yeah.
But it's all luck. I mean, all luck.
And how do you write? Like, what's your process? Do you sit down and write? Do you do premises on stage? I know you don't really hit mics anymore, do you?
No, I think that at the point I'm at, probably the point you're at too. I'm so anti-mic, dude. Like literally, they are the worst thing that can happen to a comic. They're good for like stage time, but then once you're getting the stage time, they're not good for writing. I mean, we know that they make you a one-liner comic. They make you dark, especially in this city. It's like if you don't have a joke that ends in public masturbation at an open mic, it will not get a laugh. I'm like, what do you want me to do, guys? What the fuck? And I mean, it's the same like doing a midnight show at Broadway. It's like a normal joke that I know works, that has worked, on the road, at the cellar, wherever, won't work. And then I do a stupid one-liner that I wrote 5 years ago about getting fucked in a prison, and it just fucking blows the lid off the place. And I'm like, whatever. So, no, mics are stupid. But
I still hit heaps of mics. I hit like
that's good.
15, 20 a week. But it's helped me. How it's helped me was, or has been, especially lately, because I've started to hit them a lot more. It's just to like, because you bomb and eat so much shit at mics, just like sitting in... Not that it really counts on a mic. It's not even really a bomb, but you know what I mean? It's a lot of silent rooms.
A lot of silent rooms.
And that has helped me just become more comfortable with that, because I feel like before I would go off the stage and I'd like a red face. I'd feel bad about myself. But now if I have a bad set, I'm like, whatever, it's another set. It still hurts, but like it's not.
Yeah, one day it won't. In like 5 years, it'll stop hurting.
Yeah.
I bombed on the midnight yesterday. I just don't care.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, I mean, it was a terrible audience, and I did get some pops. It wasn't like silence, but it was just like, what do you guys want from this? But anyway,
I had a pretty bad one too last time.
Oh my God, bro.
It kind of sucks. Actually, for the last 2 nights, I've had a couple of bad sets.
That's okay.
Whatever.
But anyway, the writing. Don't do mics, or I don't, just because I feel like I'm at a point where I have the reps and I'm really good at bombing. So there's no reason to do that. You know what I mean? So I probably write about 20 minutes a day, maybe an hour if I'm feeling like it, and then I try it on stage.
Yeah.
But I really just write on stage a lot, and I kind of test out. I also write in bursts. Like I'll have like 2 weeks where I'm just working on a 3-minute chunk, and then I won't write a new bit for like a month.
Yeah.
And that's just how it ends up unfolding.
Yeah.
Which probably isn't good. I probably should write more consistently. But usually it's all about kind of testing a premise out on stage and then going into the writing process and filtering out all of the empty space, and then going back and doing the one-liner and then trying new tags, and then, just like an accordion, And it's a good process for me. I find that I need to write on stage, because if I don't, it'll be such a different voice than if I just wrote in person.
Yes.
Or like on paper. My writing voice is so different than my speaking voice that something that's funny on paper won't be funny in person, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So writing on stage helps me kind of like make sure it's in that persona that is kind of myself, that it feels more true to who I am. So yeah, that's my writing experience.
And so where are you from, Mac? Are you from New York?
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn for 3 years when I was a kid, and then I moved to LA for 9 years, from the ages of like 3 to 11, I guess I'd say years. And then moved back to Brooklyn for middle school, went through middle school and high school here, and then moved to DC for college for like a year. And then the pandemic plus the comedy scene being not bad, but like for where I was, the open mic scene just wasn't it out there. You can hit like 4 mics a week. That's just not what you need to get better. And then I moved back for my last 3 years of college, and then I dropped out. So
dropped out of college?
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing was, I was literally getting like calls from Rich like mid-class, can you come do a spot? And I'm just like, this isn't.
Yeah.
Like, I've reached the point that I'm at in terms of my career where I know that I'll be able to do it full time, so there's no real reason to do college. Also, I was lying on my resume as it was, saying that I graduated college and wasn't getting a job. So what's the point? If I'm not getting it when I lie, I mean, really, like, what, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm saying I'm a college graduate and I'm not getting a job, then what's the point of actually being a college graduate? There's no point. Whatever. So it's like after the Colbert thing, everyone's going to say they were on Colbert. And still no one's going to get booked because that's not how the comedy world works anymore.
And you've been doing some road gigs?
Yeah.
How does that work? Are you booking them? Are you headlining your own?
Yes,
Okay.
for the most part. So North Carolina, I found a couple clubs over there that have me headline. When I did Boston, I just did spots, which was great. Mm-hmm. And I've been running around. I got DC in August, and then I'm doing Florida in February, which should be cool. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly just booking your own stuff and then piecing together little feature spots here and there at bar shows. It's fun. I think that I was talking to my girlfriend about this yesterday, and I'm like, I'm not really sure it's getting me anything. Like, in terms of what we were talking about earlier, like, you should have 8 to 10 goals that dictate your actions for the most part. And that's both, like, business-wise and emotionally. You know, I mean, emotionally is easier. If your goal is to do 400 spots and the club that gives you the most spots, the manager screams at you, you can either tell the manager to fuck off or you cannot. And not is the better option if your goal is to do 400 spots. Now, if your goal is to never get your feelings hurt, then you should tell them to fuck off. But I don't think that's many people's goal. And so kind of having that set, I think, very logically in terms of my planning. So if you have the goal of doing the spots, the goal of, like, personally, my goals this year were to do 300 shows, which was less than last year because last year I just wanted to jump off a bridge by the end of it. It was
a little rough.
Yeah, it was to make X amount of money, which was double last year. And it was to reach an amount of social media followers, to create a merch line, and to update my website to be, like, set and good. Mm-hmm. And the road stuff was kind of meant to achieve the financial goal. But other than that, I was talking to my partner. Like, it doesn't do much else. So I'm not really sure what the goal is. Because everyone tells you to go on the road. But I'm also like, why? So I don't really know yet. I'm kind of thinking about, like, the reasons for it and why I'm doing it. And I kind of haven't figured one out.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you're supposed to. And I'm like, sure. But why? You know? But it's fun. I mean, it's cool to see, like, these middle of nowhere places. It's fun.
What is it? What's it like when you're out there doing these gigs in, like, these different places, coming from New York? Are you finding that you're getting received well?
Oh, in terms of the stand-up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think they're not getting a caliber of stand-up that we're used to, even at an open mic.
Yeah.
So it's great. I mean, they're all the crowds are super, super kind, super generous. They laugh. But even when they don't, it's like, this is their thing for the week, so they're just grateful that you're here.
Yeah.
And it's a nice perspective because I think we live in a city where it's very much like, what can you do for me? And they're just, like, grateful, which is such a great way to live life, you know? And it's not a way I live, but it's really cool to see. And then in terms of just being in the place, it's very similar where they're like, all when I was in North Carolina, someone came up to me after a show and was like, "Hey, I'd love to show you around like this part of town." So then, like the next day, I had another show that night, but I had the whole day off, so I was like, "Sure." We just went and I like toured a part of Jacksonville and
Wow.
did the whole thing. So it was like, the people are great. That's been a really cool thing to kind of go. I go with Leah, I go with an opener, and it's just exploring these. When we went to North Carolina, we like toured a military base. We shot a gun. I rode a dirt bike. Like there's just like cool stuff, and then that's the kind of where the benefits of having so many reps in New York helps, because I can just like go do a 45-minute spot after. I don't have to stress about it the whole day or the week or the month. I can just be like having a good time, enjoying myself, and then going and clocking in and doing a good job and leaving. So that's the coolest part about being on the road, is actually experiencing the areas. When I went to Boston with, Juju Fevry and Leah came as well, and we like did the U.S. Constitution. We did the whole boats and stuff, and it was a blast. It was really cool. It was weird. The boats we went on, and they showed us, because there was one that was used in World War II and one that was used like forever ago. I don't even know. And terrible living. They were all in like hammocks. Just like,
it's unbelievable.
I don't know if you've been on one of those boats, but they're like the worst living conditions possible. Then outside of the boat is a guy recruiting people to the Navy. And I'm like, not the time.
Yeah.
You just showed me the worst possible thing to do. And now you're asking me. I'm like, no. Why would I want to? I didn't before. I certainly don't now. So that was kind of a weird. I'm like, you really don't. Bad timing, buddy. But that's his job. He's got to.
How many minutes do you do when you're doing your own gigs?
Like 2. No, I probably do about 45.
So
it's a long time.
It's long, and
it's long.
How long did it take you to develop a decent 45? Like, what is it? Can you sort of think to back your mind, like year 1 I had this, year 2 I had this?
So there are 2 levels to it, and you know that, because how much time would you say you have? Like if you added it up,
I don't know.
Not like you've done.
Yeah, look, probably 20, but I don't know if it's a good 20.
That's fine. It doesn't need to be.
I probably have more than that, because I've got some couple of 5-minute stories too. If I put it all together, I could probably do 30 minutes.
Yeah. So,
but I wouldn't say it's not polished yet.
That's okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I guess that's kind of my point, is that you have okay, so you have the amount of material you have.
Yeah.
Which isn't at all a reflection of how much you can do or like it would be.
Yeah.
Because I probably have an hour, but then you have to think about, you've done longer sets, and like the pacing's so different. Like you do these sets, and if you're going at the pace that we're used to going at, you've seen my 5 minutes. It's very fast. And it's like, if I did that for 15 minutes, the audience would want to kill me. Yeah. Like I've done that.
Interesting.
When I started doing 10s, which was forever ago, it was like, I go at the 5-minute pace. I go at the just one-liner after one-liner with tags in between. And the audience wanted to kill me. Like, I could see in their eyes, by minute 8, they were just exhausted.
Yeah.
They were like, this is way too much. We don't know what to do with any of this. Give us a breathe. Like, we can't take a sip of a drink. You're like, and it's cool. I mean, yeah, if you're like crushing, that's awesome. But it's just like, at a certain point, the audience gets exhausted. Even if you are crushing, we see like Aaron Berg, who I love. And even after like 30 minutes, if he doesn't know he's doing 30 and he's just going at his 15-minute pace, the audience is so tired.
Wow.
And he's still doing well, but it's like, so what I did was, about 3 years ago, I kind of looked at Aaron's 45, and then like a bunch of I looked at Sam Morril, I looked at Taylor Tomlinson and Jessica Kierson, and all of these comics who do a lot of time on a consistent basis. And I mapped out each minute how many laughs they got. And then I put it on an arc to see what it looked like. And usually they start hot, but like by minute 3, they're down to 3 laughs a minute. Because it's just like they're prepping for the hour. They're not getting 15 or 12. So it's a different, when you ask like how I evolved over time, it was like I got the material, and then probably around 15 minutes I was like, oh crap, this isn't 3 5s anymore. This is a different experience that I have to give these people. So then I had to go back and say, okay, how can I evolve my material to be more suited for, maybe there's a longer setup in there somewhere. Maybe there are things I want to add or crowd work moments that I want to do that will slow it down for everybody around minute 4, around minute 9, around minute 14, that can kind of allow for space. So that was the journey I had, where it was, you get really excited because you're like, oh my God, I have this much time. And certainly the first time I did 30 minutes was kind of like that. But Brian Scott McFadden told me, it's like, once you get past 20 minutes, it's way more like jazz music than it is like rock and roll. It's way more like kind of feeling it out and seeing where the audience is at and letting them grow with you. If they're pumped for doing 6 laughs a minute for the next 40, great. They might not be. So kind of feeling that experience out. And I finally, this past time I was in North Carolina, I did 45, and it was like really good pacing. And I was like, okay, that's cool that I can do that. And now 5 minutes feels awkward,
Wow.
So you're never going to be perfect. But it is kind of, it's not just having the time, which I'm sure you know.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm such a baby in this, so I'm still, learning every single day and will continue to. But it's awesome to like pick the brains of people like you and see where you're at, because I can sort of use that as like, all right, cool. Well, because you just don't know. That's the thing, you don't know. I can observe all I want, but until I actually have a conversation with someone or experience it myself, which hopefully that will be the case. I mean, it will be. But yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see how like guys like you have developed and like the way that you've moved through the game.
Yeah, and I think that you gotta, you'll hit a space when you like, every time you reach an obstacle, you'll know it's an obstacle. When you first start out, it just feels like everything's the most difficult thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get comfortable with stuff, and then you reach something and you're like, okay, now we need to stop because I haven't had this feeling in 3 years and I don't know what to do. And that's when you ask questions or you study comics or you kind of reach out, because you're not supposed to do it on your own. This isn't a job where you're like by yourself at all. There are a ton of people that are willing to help, and there's a whole community of people who have far exceeded what you've done and who are looking up to you, and realizing that and using the tools at your disposal, I think, is a really helpful tool.
Yeah. And what do you think is like, if you could give advice to anyone who's sort of starting out, what is a couple of like words that you would say to someone, like who's getting into the industry or only a year or two in, like myself? What is some things that you've learned that you would like pass down to someone? Like if you had like a little brother or something that was, hey Mac, I want to start stand up. What would you say to him?
Well, a year or two in is different from starting.
Right. Let's go starting.
The growth that you've had in 2 years is probably the biggest growth jump you're ever going to have. And so that isn't even, I mean, you could probably give better advice to somebody who's starting out. But the thing I would say to someone starting out is just get as many reps as possible. I mean, literally just like, it doesn't, throw the ego out the window, because one, you shouldn't have any, like you're starting, like what are you doing with the ego crap? But two, it's like just find a place to go up like you're doing 14 times a week and getting the reps and trusting that the shows will come and the time will come, and if it doesn't, in 2 years, then maybe you make some changes, but you kind of have to trust that those opportunities will expose themselves to you. You just have to be very ready for them, kind of as we discussed earlier.
Do you think anyone can make it?
No.
Yeah.
I used to think talent was bullshit. I used to be like, well, it's just hard work, which I think I now disagree with myself on two fronts. One, it's not just hard work. There are plenty of people that are very talented and have really good stage presence and can kind of go up 6 months in and be far better than I am. But also, hard work is the talent. You know what I'm saying?
I hear.
A lot of people really suck at working hard, Cam. And it's just like, what you're doing and what I'm doing, some people just refuse to do. So those are the people that aren't going to make it. Those are, you talk to these people and they're just at one club that so happened to open themselves up to them. And they're like content with it. And they're just sitting back. And it's like, fine, but you're going to be there in 10 years. You're not making any changes. You're not working. So, no, I don't think anyone can make it. I think a lot of people quit around like the 3-year mark.
Okay.
Because they're just resting on their laurels a little bit. And it's like, you got to, like we said, man, set your goals. And I'd be curious to hear yours at some point, maybe, whatever. But setting your goals and then like just writing out a journey of how to achieve those. Because when you're just like, okay, this is it, which I think there's some comfort in because you can't feel bad about yourself, you know?
Yeah.
But the perfect balance is being happy with where you're at and wanting to continue. But I think rarely people have that.
We're very self-deprecating.
Yeah, no, that's crazy to be like, well, I'm doing great. That's wow. I rely on going on podcasts for people to tell me that. It's like, all right, I need to feel better about myself, Camel. And just kind of working your ass off and keep it moving. Like you're doing. Just, you do the mics, then you're like, all right, I'm going to do the internship. All right, I'm going to go to St. Mark's. All right, in 2 years, you'll audition for New York or whatever. So, like, just keep it moving.
Yeah, 100%.
No loyalty either. That's something Usama told me. It's like, stop with this is my club. Like, look, I love Broadway, and I have a certain amount of loyalty to them in that, like, I submit my avails to them first. That's about what I can do. But whenever someone's like, oh, you do other clubs besides Broadway? It's like, yeah. And I think if Rich knew that I didn't, he would be like, what are you doing?
100%.
He wants me to get better.
Yeah.
He's not going to like, he's a good person. He's not going to be like, you can't do any other clubs unless you are like rude or like blowing him off because you want to do another club. Then maybe. But anyway, that's no one.
Now, let's talk about some serious stuff. Have you been keeping up with this Epstein trial? Epstein bullshit?
Are we doing current events now so that this can go viral? That's awesome.
No.
That's good.
I'm obsessed with it at the moment, this Epstein list, like how Trump has he like ran on the fact that he was going to release it. I don't know if you follow any of this sort of stuff.
Well, I was a poli-sci major in college.
Okay, there we go.
So I'm actually fairly educated. I mean, I did drop out, but hey, I went to college for 4 years.
Good
so
on.
I just
so your resume says.
Finish.
So what did you study? Politics?
Poli-sci.
Ah, yes. Okay. So he ran on this, okay? He ran on releasing the list, and now, what do you know? He's not releasing the list.
Sure.
Is there a list? Do you believe there's a list?
Yes.
Of course there's a fucking list.
But I also think it's not like as juicy as we probably think it is. It's not like, oh yeah, then here's Bill Clinton and he was sucking off a little person in the backyard. That's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably like, yeah, this guy was on a plane.
Yeah, but
Like, these things are always way more boring than we think they're going to be. And then it comes out after 10 years and we're like, all right, cool. Like, and like half the thing is covered in Sharpie. So it's like the shit we actually want to see isn't even a bit. So it's like, yeah. The fact that they're not releasing it, I think, is probably just a distraction from the real crap that's going on. Kind of like the alien bullshit we had 2 years ago. So it's like, whatever. Yes, there's a list. Yes, he's probably on it in some regard, right? Because he's a fucking rich person. They're all on it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, but also probably half of his political opponents are on it too. So
100%.
it's like,
well, it was interesting how Epstein even got his money in the first place, because he was very much like you. He was a university dropout.
Cut that one out.
He was a university dropout. He started working as a professor at a university.
Okay.
I mean, you know what salary these guys make. They're not rich.
No.
And then all of a sudden, he's a millionaire.
Really? I didn't follow his career that much.
So Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, who was like his partner, ended up being like a spy. He ended up getting found out being a spy for Israel and for Russia.
Oh. Okay.
And he ended up the way he basically did some of the same moves that Epstein did. And so like what they're thinking is, what's sort of starting to come out now is that they think Epstein might have been a spy for Israel, and that he was given a lot of his money through blackmail. So he would get these guys in like these precarious positions, for example, fucking children, if that's what they did, or probably millions of other things. And then he would bribe his way through that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
In terms of the list, I am so pale. Look at that. That's crazy.
You look, it's the TV. You don't look as pale once we publish, trust me.
Okay, this is wild.
I look translucent as well.
Oh my God. Okay. I spent too many times in basements.
Yeah. You should get some sun, bro.
I really should.
I saw this thing yesterday. There was this kid, right? He was on his deathbed. And he had 1 day to live. And they said, what is your dying wish? And he goes, I just want to be outside in the sun.
Oh.
And they wheeled him out in his like intensive care bed. They put him out in the sun for like half a day. And then he started to get better. And then they put him out in the sun the next day and he started to get better.
Was he a plant?
He was photosynthesizing. But yeah, apparently the sun's pretty good for you.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point. Okay. So the Epstein, I don't know. I mean, he's on it, probably. And then it's just like, but I really think all this crap, it gets really, like the JFK thing, and then it's just like.
We learn nothing when they release this stuff. Like you say, they put the black pen through.
I know, and it's like that's the shit I wanted to see.
Yeah,
motherfucker. Like, you know that's it. I think this whole like I've never lived through a dictatorship before, and it's just like a crazy thing to experience. It's just I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's just so depressing.
It feels like It feels like we're living through a dictatorship. You know, something came out this week. I watch a bit of the news, so I like it. I like a little bit of.
I read the New York Times every morning.
Good on you. Yeah.
Paper. I got my girlfriend got me a paper subscription for Christmas, and I get it every morning. And then I have my black coffee, and I sit on the couch with my 3 cats. And it's the best way to start your morning.
That sounds awesome.
It is. It's pretty great.
Do you write jokes off current events?
No, I think it's stupid. I'm gonna write a joke that's worth something for like a week.
Yeah, that's
it's so hard to write a joke, and then it's like I'm writing a joke that has such a limited, lifespan. That's crazy. I mean, it's the writing a joke, just a vague joke about how like Trump looks like a pumpkin. That's whatever, but it's like a joke about something specifically that, especially in like our current life, where it's just like something new happens every single day that you forget about. The I feel like 30 years ago, those LA wildfires would have lasted for 5 years to stand up. And now, if you talked about it, people are like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that happened at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really hear a lot of comics doing political stuff anymore on stage. Like, I used to remember when I watched comedy as a young man, just on specials and stuff, there's always be some aspect of political, but I never really see it in the scene in with my own eyes.
Yeah, because I think that we're in such a space that's so polarized that it's like these audience members are not willing to laugh at something they don't agree with.
Yeah.
It's like they just won't do it. So why am I going to write a joke that 70% of the audience is going to agree with or disagree with, you know? So it's like, I feel like 30 years ago, you could disagree with something Carlin said and still laugh because he's very talented. But now it's just like if someone disagrees with you, you see it at Broadway, they're like scared to laugh. And they're all like, so I think that's why I think just the return is so much less than it used to be, which is kind of ironic because we're in such a politically polarized, you would think that everyone would want to talk about it. And it is so much in everyday life, but if you go on stage and say something that someone disagrees with, not only are you alienating that moment, you're alienating your whole set, probably.
Yeah, I feel like New York especially is a harder place to get away with it, just because everyone here is very, like, especially you've got a Republican president. So I shouldn't say we, it's you, because it's not my president.
It isn't.
Well, I guess I kind of is now. I got my green card.
You did officially?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Not a good time.
No, I love it. But here you can't really, I don't know, people just don't like Trump in this city.
Yeah. I mean, he's not popular. He's honestly not popular nationwide right now.
He's not popular globally either. Australians don't really like him.
Yeah. It's, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I do think this is I'm going to get a little too political in here. But it's just like, it's going to swing.
Of course.
It's what it always happens. So it's like, as long as our country survives the next 3 years, we saw with Mamdani, like we are swinging the other way, which is going to be great for me, who's pretty politically left-leaning, but then it's going to swing back the other way. So it's just like, you kind of got to hope that you survive the part that you hate, and then enjoy the part that you like, and then it's just going to keep swinging back and forth until the nation falls apart, because that's what happens. Is you just keep going and 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 going, and then some side wins, you know, and at a certain point it stays there. At some point,
then you got a dictator.
It splits, and then you're off, and you're off. So it's just like you kind of got to hope that your side wins, kind of, because that's the way that this always works. I mean, that's the way every empire falls apart.
Oh, yeah. Do you think it will fall apart one day?
Yeah.
The American empire?
Sure thing.
Yeah.
That's the way empires work.
It has to, hasn't it?
No, I mean, even the UK is smaller. It's not really an empire anymore.
No.
Everything falls apart.
Man, they're having some major issues. They're not even allowed to hold a free Palestine sign anymore in the UK. It's illegal because they've deemed the word Palestine as a terrorist organization. Just the whole country. Well, if you call it a country. Isn't that fucking insane?
That's crazy.
I feel like we're heading into just the most crazy times, and I don't know how we got here. Like, where is the common sense?
I think a lack of education. I mean, that's another thing about going on the road is I talk to these people, and they're great people, and they like showing me around, but not everyone there is smart, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, our country especially is, like, pretty not smart. And it's fine. I'm not smart either.
I mean,
I had the American education system, too. But it is a little bit like just a lack of education is crazy.
Yeah.
It's just people do not get taught things.
Yeah, but also we're getting taught in the wrong ways. Like, I don't know. Are we wrong way? I don't know. What's wrong or right? That's not even up to me to say. But like, everyone learns. It's okay. So I'm I'm going to give you an example. Like, I think everyone learns now in like these little snippets, these little real snippets of like 30-second bits of information where someone's just commenting on something. And then they form their opinion off that. A lot of people are just forming their opinions off things that they probably don't, even, like you say, uneducated for, don't have any real grounds as to why they form that opinion. And I feel like I can see it somewhat when I do shows. Like, for example, we do a lot of shows when I do shows at St. Mark's, because it's a university area, there's a lot of young people come in. Like last night was a complete Gen Z show, the 10:30 show. There was about 25 audience members. Not a single one of them would have been over the age of 21. And they are just the worst fucking audience. By the end of the show, half of them have left because they can't sit there for an hour and 15 minutes. And they just don't, I don't know, I feel like I don't feel like my generation was like that, but I'm not sure.
Like what?
I feel like I could sit down for an hour and 15 and pay attention and just be involved in something. Give my, it's like they get offended really easily, super easily. Like you can't say certain things around these guys. I don't know. Can you shine any light on that?
Sure. So I think there are two things that you brought up. I think one is the attention span, and I do agree that it's decreasing, but also while I can sit through an hour and a half long movie, I can't sit through a 6 hour long opera. So like attention spans decrease and change over time, and that's the way brains work. So like, I don't know. I would have thought I can't sit through like a 3-act Shakespeare play. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing that.
No.
So that's the first thing is that like, yes, attention spans are decreasing, but that's what they do as media changes, and then media will elongate. Just like I don't think someone 80 years ago could have just listened to a 4-hour long podcast. These days, people are fucking doing it all the time. So attention spans change and evolve. So that's like one thing. And yes, it sucks for us. So sure. But then also, in terms of the offensive stuff, I agree with you, but I also think that one, it's a very small percentage of the population that gets offended by things. It's just a loud percentage. And then two, the younger people get offended more. They will grow up. Like you find out that it's not a world you can survive it if you're being offended.
Yeah.
Because like we said, you have a set amount of goals. And if you're being offended interrupts your goals, then you have to make a choice. What's more important to me? Hearing something I don't like, but being, at a company that I really like being a part of, or just like being in my studio apartment that my dad pays for, that the money's going to run out, So like, they got to make a choice at some point, and they're young, and they're 21, and they're in a bubble, and in about 3 years, they're going to work at a restaurant serving tables, and the people in the kitchen are going to be saying stuff they don't like, and the people at the tables are going to be saying stuff they don't like, and they can throw a fit, but then they're going to be broke.
Yeah,
so it's
you're
like,
so right. That's a good outlook.
They got to figure it out. That's their problem, not ours.
Yeah.
We got to just keep doing our thing.
Interesting. You got a good outlook in life, Mac. Now, what are your goals?
This year, I told you was the shows and the social media.
But
and the money. Long term, I don't even know, man. I mean, like, I want to do it full time completely. That's kind of the next step I'm at.
Yeah.
But really after that, I'm happy going on the road and doing stand up, which I love to do, and seeing new places, which I love to do, and meeting new people, which is fine. And kind of going about life that way, and just that seems to be the goal for me and the trajectory I'm in. I mean, there are steps along the way that are a means to that. But those aren't goals. Those are steps. The goal is doing it full time and being able to, sure, I'll probably be passed in the cellar at some point, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That's not a goal.
Yeah.
That's just something that, like, in order to do this full time, that's kind of something you do.
Yeah.
Will I probably have an hour-long special on YouTube or Comedy Central or Netflix? Sure, probably. But again, like, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait. Like, that's not, it's just like a thing that I'll be like super grateful for the opportunity. But again, it's just a means to do it full time and a means to have a living doing it. It's the same thing with, if I'm ever in a sitcom or an acting thing, or if I have a merch line or what, So that's those are all things that I'm excited about being in my future. But the goal is headlining across the country and doing this for a living and meeting all of these really great people and seeing all of these really cool spaces. And the awesome thing is that I'm already starting to do that. And you just kind of have to trust that it'll keep going. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what else can you do? It's like, I feel like the biggest gift of this journey has been the difficulty of it. And, in ordinary, like, civilian life, like where you get up and you just go to work every day. Like, I'm an electrician, and so I did that for 19 years in various different jobs, around my country and doing different roles in that work. But I did the same thing. But like, I always knew what I was doing, and I always knew that if I did this, I'm going to get there. Or if I take this job, I'm going to make this much money by this time. And if I do, it was very logical, it was very structured, and there was just a clear pathway. But in this game, it's very uncertain. You can hope, you can be very lucky, and you can put in all the work, but there's never any guarantee. And I say it is a gift because it's kind of, what I've realized is it's kind of allowed me to just like go with it a bit more. Stop worrying about the outcome so much, but just enjoy and think about what I've got to do each day. Not knowing where you're going to go and not knowing where it's going to end up it makes life kind of exciting. It kind of puts the fear in you to want to work harder because there is no guarantee. But it's really different. I don't know how many industries are kind of like that. I mean, obviously a lot of creative industries are, but it's probably actually a very common trend throughout creative industries. But generally speaking, it's not. It's a different way of living.
Yes, I agree with the kind of core of what you're saying, but I also think that it's only that kind of stuff still exists in the sense that it's like you're the one who's laying out the journey. So it's like before, like you were saying, it's like your boss will be like, all right, if you work this amount, you get this much money. If you work for this long, this is the next position that you'll get when so-and-so leaves or whatever. But like now you're just doing it. So now you're saying, okay, if I do X amount of shows, I'm making this much money. If I, if I, like, for example, take the New York Comedy Club class in 3 years, I'll get passed in New York. So it's like, I'm not sure, and I agree that where you're at, it feels more volatile because I remember it feeling that volatile. But like as it gets more and more kind of like a job, it's just like, it's almost like the first 4 years are just like college, where it's like you don't know, but you're kind of putting yourself through college. And then like once you hit year 5 and 6, it really is a job. It's like I got these shows that I do. I have kind of this way that I'm growing my social media. Everything's going up. So it isn't really hope anymore. It's just kind of expectation.
Yeah.
Everyone around me expects it to go fine. My girlfriend is very much like, this is your job. My parents are very much like, this is your job. My friends are, so it's just like, it turns into that.
Yeah.
It turns into a normal job. But yeah, the beginning is terrifying. You don't know what you're doing, and there is a fear. There's no fear anymore. Now it's literally just like, you're doing your thing, you're enjoying it, and you're kind of plotting the journey yourself and setting these benchmarks. But other than that, it's the exact same thing.
I hear.
But it's a good. I mean, what are your goals?
My goals? Well, I've realized that I just need time because I've got lucky very early. I've only been doing this for like just over a year.
I know.
So I need time because I've realized that what I do on stage and the way I write I feel like there's still so much more. Like there's that conversational aspect and comfortability that I haven't brought out on stage yet because I just feel like I just don't have the ability yet, but I'm getting closer. Every day I'm getting a little bit closer and doing a little bit more. So my goal is just like kind of like hunker down for the next few years. I'm getting enough shows at the moment with Broadway and St. Mark's that I'm pretty good.
Getting the reps.
Getting plenty of reps. You know, I'm probably averaging like at least 10 shows a week.
Sure.
So I think that's good, and I'm smacking mics. So my goal is like the next 2 years, just keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And then, like you say, then book a class with Candy. You know,
Yeah.
And maybe start trying to get past at other places. I don't know if that's the right or wrong thing, but I just have a sense that it's like, I know I owe it to myself to give myself time to develop.
Right. And what's your like long-term goal though?
Oh, same as you, man.
Same as me.
Do it as
think
I
that's
want to do
everyone's
this I want to do this for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want this to be my day job, 100%. And the more, my brother asked me this, I've said this in the podcast a couple of days ago, but my brother asked me, he goes, are you sick of it yet? This is my triplet brother. I said, no, it's the opposite. The better I'm getting, the more I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say, and this might be different, but I've talked to Troy about it, and I think he's about the same, is that like, you don't get sick of it, but you enjoy different aspects of it. Like this is what I enjoy the most now, talking to people and running around the city and being like my mom asked me how the shows were last night, and I was like, great. Not because the shows were, the shows were shows. I clocked in and I clocked out and I tried some new material and I did my job, you know? But the people at Broadway were great yesterday. I had some great conversations. The managers were great. I got to hang out with people that I enjoy hanging out with. So, like, that's what you enjoy. That's what you're not sick of. And then the shows themselves kind of become not the forefront of what you're enjoying, which doesn't mean you don't enjoy it. You still enjoy it. I love being on stage. And there are always cool moments, probably every night. If I'm doing 5 shows, there's going to be a cool moment that I'm like, oh, that was sick.
Yeah.
But it's not like that feeling that I'm sure you still have where like you get on stage and you're like, that like lights up your night.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the subway.
Yeah.
In an hour.
Yeah.
And then I'm going home and I'm hanging out with my cats. And I probably enjoy that more than being on stage. And that's okay too. You know, like, it's fine. So that's what I would say is that like you're never going to be sick of it, but you are going to enjoy different things about it.
Who's your favorite comic, Mac? Like who's one of your favorite comics getting around New York and then like just in the outer space?
I mean, Brian's great. Scott McFadden. I think he's so funny.
He's so funny. What a great opener he is.
Yeah.
Just getting the audience going.
Yeah, and he just has such a good understanding of the technique and the writing of the whole thing. And he's just mastered his voice. I saw him on Letterman, and it was just like, he's grown so much since then that it's really cool to see. He's really good. Jessica Kirsten's great too. I mean, her crowd work is just, you've seen her. Yeah, she's just insanely talented. Jim Gaffigan live is amazing. I see him at Gotham all the time. He pops in. I actually saw him. I don't know if it's his most recent special, but I saw him release a special, and he had been working on it for the past year at Gotham, and it was just like the way that grew was so cool. And Leah came to a lot of those shows and saw him a lot, and she even got to see these bits develop, and he's just such a good writer and so talented. I got to see George Wallace at Gotham too. That was fun. Saw Bill Burr at New York live, which was great. Super talented. But those are just some. I mean, I don't laugh a lot anymore, so it's just more appreciating the technique of the whole thing. Those people that are just such good writers.
Yeah.
That I really enjoy watching. What about you?
Well, my favorite comic getting around at the moment is Osama Siddiqui.
It's a good one.
He's so good. I only met him the other day, and I've seen him like a bunch lately, and I was like, dude, this guy just blows my mind.
Yeah.
He's so good. I love how he, very much like he draws from his own experiences.
Yeah.
You know, you same as you from what I've noticed, is you draw from your own experiences, things that have actually happened to you, and you make jokes about that. And it's funny. He does the same thing. He talks a lot about his family, his mum. I don't know. I just like that style of comedy. I like it when you know a bit about that person by the end of the show.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You feel like you've had like a conversation with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is although I've had people come up to me, and I think this is where the difference, you're saying, like, I'm so much like myself on stage. But people have said they're scared of me, Cam. Did you know that? People have come up to me and been like, I was scared to come up to you because you're like so aggressive on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's true. I'm a very judgmental individual.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You didn't know that about me? Oh, my God. I'm very judgmental. Yeah. No, so that's where I think the difference is, but he is amazing.
Yeah. All right, Mac. Well, we got to wrap this up. Do you want to give everyone your socials?
Yeah. Where am I looking? Right there?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Hello. You can follow me at Mac O'Hara Comedy on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, I think. You could also go to my website, which is also Mac O'Hara Comedy, and it has all of my shows. Really exciting thing. I don't even know if you know this yet. On September 26th, I'm going to be doing my own headliner show at Broadway. So I'll be doing like a 40-minute set. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And that's on my website and on Broadway's website. And it's going to be a really cool experience. And I'm having a bunch of really funny people on. So you should come to that.
Amazing.
If you're going to come to a show, come to that show.
There you go, guys.
Amazing. Thanks for having me.
Mac, absolute pleasure.
So fun.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
I'm glad we made it happen.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too.
All right.
See you on the next one, guys.